episode 9. Jesus, we only got one left. Pierce the Heavens, Superman. And it's your boy Icon with a DC television review, animated TV review for you. And before we get started, as always, hit the notification bell, like and or subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you to everybody who has subscribed so far as we continue to build and grow. So now, with one episode to go, Lois is in the Black Mercy, which still bothers me. And she managed to get into the Brainiac Network, and once she finds her way into the Brainiac Network, we are now officially in Groundhog Day. So she's inside, like, the computer-generated world that Brainiac created. She goes, she finds, she gets kidnapped by Brainiac posing as Clark's, like, real birth parents. She gets kidnapped, she gets locked up in prison, and then Clark shows up, he starts talking to her, and then she's just like, because she lost her memory. Clark doesn't have his memories either, so they're two people without their memories trying to talk to each other. And then eventually, when she touches him, she remembers, she's like, holy shit, like, you're Clark. She's like, your name is Clark. She's like, I'm Lois, I came here to find you. And then that's when Brainiac was like, get away from her, Kal-El. And then he snaps his fingers, because he tried to delete Lois, because he said that they could delete her from the Black Mercy, or delete her from Clark's memories in his mind. But when they tried to delete her, instead of deleting her, she just ended up back to where she started. But this time she actually has her memories. That's how we got into Groundhog Day. She needs to try to snap Clark out of the fantasy that he's in. She needs to try to, like, revive him and, you know, like, get him to remember who she is. But the problem is Brainiac posing as Clark's parents keep interfering, and every single time she tries to find Clark and she tries to talk to him, his parents show up, and then they zap her, and then they reset the whole thing, and then she has to do the whole thing all over again. So like I said, so she tries to find Clark, it doesn't work, she gets zapped back to the beginning, then she tries to find him again, she gets zapped back to the beginning, but eventually she learns her lesson, because every time she tries to go into the lab to find him, that's when Brainiac finds her and zaps her back to the beginning. So for the very last time, instead of actually going into the lab, and I wish we would have saw this, because I would have liked to know how she did it too. She found a way to get Clark to come out of the building, because she was in front of, every time she appears into the Brainiac Black Mercy world, she's in front of a spaceship, like a crashed spaceship. She managed to find Clark and pull him behind the spaceship so nobody could see them. And then while she pulled them behind, then she had the conversation with him, and then she was telling her, she's like, you know, I'm Lois, like, you're Clark Kent, you know, there's Ma, Pa, and Jimmy, you know, like, you're the protective world, like, you're Superman and everything. So she tells him the whole story, and then he's like, well, if this is the case, he was like, why would you even be here? Why would you risk your life and risk everything to try to save me? And then she's just like, oh, because, you know, like, I love you and, like, you're everything to me. And then he was like, that's bullshit, because he's like, the Lois Lane that I know, she hates me. She doesn't want to be with me. And, you know, like, she wants nothing to do with me. So there's no way in hell, like, you're not real. You're not Lois. And then she got mad. And then she goes, look, motherfucker. she said, I kidnapped. She said, I broke into Argus for you. Like, I worked with Livewire for you. Like, you know, I kidnapped a rocket ship and went into outer space for you, you son of a bitch. So she's like, so don't you dare tell me I don't care when I risked life and limb and every single thing possible in order to be here to pull your ass out of the fire right now. So then that's when he was just like, well, shit, it is you, Lois. And he's like, what do you mean you stole a spaceship? You know, so that now Clark snaps out of it. And then that's when, like, you know, Brainiac posing as his parents show up. And they're just like, Kal-El, how dare you, you know, wrestle with such human filth. And then he's, you know, he remembers whatever. So then he ends up beating up Clark. He knocks Clark to the ground. And then right before he dealt him the final blow, Lois steps in. And then she stopped him from beating up Clark. And then she punched him in his face and knocked him like 90 feet back. And I'm like, where did she get superpowers from all of a sudden? And she even questioned that too. And she was like, she said, how was I able to punch him so hard? He goes, yeah, but then Superman, he was like, yeah, but we're in my mind. And he said, in my mind, you know, like, you're the most powerful person that I know. So in my mind, you actually have superpowers. So now both of them are whooping his parents' ass. Like, they're beating his parents' ass. And then now they're trying to break out of the dome. They're trying to break out of the Black Mercy. They're punching, like, this force field that's supposed to take them out of it. And then that's when Brainiac was just like, you shall not pass. He's like, you'll never escape the Black Mercy. And then he's like, one thing you don't know about us, Brainiac, is that we're strong, we're stubborn, and we'll never give up hope. And then the two of them managed to break through, and they broke the Black Mercy, and now they've escaped out of the Black Mercy sequence. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Jimmy and Kara, they're in outer space, and they end up, well, Malik and the Brain, they're in there too, because remember, they're all in the spaceship. They end up going back to Earth. And then Jimmy's just like, well, we need to come up with a way to save Clark and, and do everything. He ends up going on his Flamebird account. So I'm just like, so the Flamebird thing still happens. Jimmy finally posts something on Flamebird. And now that he's posted something on Flamebird, does that mean like he got his money back? Like, what are we doing here? So then he ends up telling everybody, he said, listen, he's like, we're trying to rescue Superman. There's an alien invasion coming and blah, blah, blah. And then Amanda Waller shoots down the spaceship. So Malik and the Brain, like, they disappear. Jimmy, Kara, and Lois, because Lois still got the Black Mercy thing on her head, so she's there. Like, the spaceship crashes, Kara catches them, brings them down safely, and then they get attacked by Amanda Waller. They get ran up on. Amanda Waller locks them up and throws them in the back of the squad car. So now they're all locked up. They're being taken back to Argus for questioning, and then that's when Perry shows up along with Vicky Vale. I'm like, how did Vicky Vale get from Gotham? Because they said that when they stopped the truck, Amanda Waller was like, "What are you doing? This is an investigation, a government investigation." That's when Perry said, "Yes, but we saw on Flamebird that you arrested one of my journalists, and it's against the law to arrest a journalist because of their amendment rights." And my whole thing is, how the hell did Vicky Vale get there that quickly? Like, was she already in Metropolis? Did she fly from Metropolis? Did the Batman drop her off? Vicky Vale got there way too quickly. So then, while they're talking to Amanda Waller, like the Wolf Pack, they're in the back of the squad car, and they're breaking Jimmy, Lois, and Kara out of the squad car. They get to the squad car and they dip. Amanda Waller realizes she's been had, and now she tells the goons, she's like, go get them and bring them back. But then at that moment, that's when Brainiac shows up, and then Brainiac, he's still in control of like Superman's body. He's just like Earth. He was like, I'm here to destroy you and, to turn this place into ash and blah, blah, blah. He was like, will you join me or will you choose fire? And then Amanda Waller's just like, light him up, boys. And then they try to kill Brainiac. And then he's like, fire it is. So now he's like destroying everything. He's taking down Waller's forces with no problem. And then that's when Lex decides to unveil the Metallo robots. The Metallo robots don't work because he has kryptonite shielding. And then he uses his Omega beam he's going to fire it on Metropolis and basically wipe out all of Metropolis. And then at that moment, when he's about to shoot the beam, Kara shows up. She blocks the beam. And then she's just like, I won't let this world be destroyed by you, Brainiac. So now Kara's fighting Superman dressed as Brainiac, or Brainiac dressed as Superman. And then the two of them are fighting. And then Kara loses the battle. She gets her ass beat. And then while she's getting her ass beat, then there's a moment. Then this is the moment where Lois and Clark actually broke out of the Black Mercy secret. So then now that he's taking care of Supergirl, he's just like, I'm about to fire this beam again. And then when he goes to fire the beam again, Superman shows up to block the beam. And then when he shows up to block the beam, all of a sudden he stopped wearing the black suit that Brainiac had put on him. And it turned into like a brand new Superman costume, which I actually like. I just don't understand like how he got the new costume that quickly. And then Kara doesn't have a costume. So Superman got the new costume. He's talking to Kara. He's just like, welcome back, cuz. Now let's take down this Brainiac piece of shit together. So now the two of them, they're about to go destroy Brainiac. But then Brainiac took control of Lex's Metallo robots, and he used them to attack Kara and to attack Clark. So now they're both hit with kryptonite poisoning. They go crashing down to the floor, and then when they hit the floor, the supers are down. Brainiac, for the third time now, he's about to fire this Omega beam, and then he's just like, your world will be ash, and all shall kneel before Brainiac. And then we got the to be continued. That's how the episode ended, and thank you for tuning in. So now, final episode. So next week is going to be the season finale. This is actually getting really good. I thought by now Kara would have her own Superman costume, but she doesn't have the Supergirl costume yet. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, somebody has to show up. And if the supers are down for the count, and if everybody's about to die, and like if the world's about to be destroyed, only one of two things is going to happen. Either all the heroes that we saw in the beginning of the season, from the season up until now, like John Henry Irons and like all those people, either those people are going to show up and pull a save at the last second. Otherwise, why would they be in every single episode up until that point? Either we're going to get those returning characters to come back to save them, or for the love of God, the Batman's going to show up and he's going to do something to save the day. But I said, but we'll see. It's going to be very interesting. But Kara has to get the costume in the last episode. Like, that's because I got a t-shirt waiting for that I want to unveil next week. But share your questions, comments, and concerns down below, and we'll continue to talk about it. Check me out on X and on Twitter, always on YouTube and TikTok, where we can leave your questions, comments, and our concerns. Check me out on social media because I got Suicide Squad Isekai reviews up on my channel, and we got more stuff coming up for you guys at the end of the month, so look out for that as well. So that was it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. One more episode to go for My Adventures with Superman.